All right, today's project, KLX Needle Kit. So I got to get to that carb. And I've got to put it on that oh no. Okay, well, today's project is going to begin with cleaning up from the last project. And then try the Eagle Mike KLX Needle Kit. And man, am I going to have to take those crash bars off? Scratch babble. So the intent of this video was how to do the KLX needle upgrade from Eagle Mike and have one resource to go to. Because I had to go to several videos and I also had to stop and read some things because not everything is really clear to a moron like me. So I thought I'd make a video kind of for other people like me who aren't really experienced with this, including document form all the steps that I went through, problems I ran into, and how I overcome them. Part of this is shot with a regular camera. Part of it is shot with a hat cam on a GoPro. That footage is where I'm actually doing the needle replacement and the carb work. I deleted all that footage by mistake. So I'm trying to come up with a, maybe not have come up with a way to work around that for you. You'll let me know at the end of the video. The document that I referred to is in the description. I hope this helps. I'm also linking the two videos that were the biggest help for me. One, how to remove the carburetor, and one doing the actual needle work itself. Just remember, this is a KLX needle kit from Eagle Mike, and I am replacing a stock carburetor. I am doing work on a stock carburetor. The 12-cent mod hadn't been done. I'm just following the basic instruction to do the basic KLX needle kit, and we'll see how that does for the bike. Okay? Let's see if any of this will make sense at the end. The plan for today, Eagle Mike KLX needle kit. I got what I think I'm going to need, and I've got a KLR. So I got the seat and the tank off, and this is where I watched a video, which I'll post below. The next step is to get the linkage off, to get the motor mount bolts off and those plates, and then theoretically I should be able to break loose the carburetor on both sides, remove the screws, rotate it towards me, and then pull the left side towards me and have it pop out. Now, I had to loosen up actually I took the top bolt out of my Motec, and I'm hoping, and I loosened the bottom and one side underneath. I'm hoping that's going to be enough room for me to swivel it out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to probably loosen these even more, which I don't want to do because that bolt in there was a mofo the first time I did it. But if I have to, I will. Very least, I'll pull out the lower mount bolts. Those are loosened as well. And see what we got. All right. All right, just wanted to jump in real quick. Be very careful in here with this screw. I should have a longer screwdriver than this and a better screwdriver than this. It's very, very, very touchy. And you could strip it out pretty easy, so just be careful with that, all right? That is the one screw to remove the linkage. Okay, next we're going to get these two hoses off, there and there, and then get this motor mount off. And then we should be able to loosen that screw and that screw. Take this, take this clamp off, and then we should be able to rotate it out, so. Hang on. Point of the video, I'm rotating the carburetor out, and the cable that leads to the choke, I've heard and read several places how tight of a fit, how hard it is to get a wrench on there. I've rotated it, and I'm afraid to rotate it anymore, and I still can't get a wrench on it. So the video you're about to see, I actually posted up on YouTube to get some assistance from you guys to see what I needed to do to get it out. Now, the ultimate answer was I just had to loosen up the choke cable from the frame a little bit more, get myself a little slack, and I was able to rotate the carburetor a little more and finally get to that nut. All right, I'm stumped, boys. Got the carburetor tilted towards me, but I cannot get anything on that enricher screw, housing, whatever the hell you want to call it, to loosen it and get it out. This part of the enricher, it's like it slides freely in and out of here. But I don't want to do anything and break it. So I mean, I've tried needle nose. There's just no way to get a purchase on that nut. There's just no room. No room whatsoever. Any suggestions? Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, gents. I just rotate. I was really worried about busting this thing, but I was able to free up the choke in the retention spool on the other side up here. Get a little more slack, rotate it further, and I'm golden. Thanks so much for your help, everyone. And there we go. It's out. It's in my hand. So I had to rotate it towards the camera about 90 degrees. Probably 45 degrees. Oh shit. Carbs leaking everywhere. And then pop it out from that right boot, the front boot first, and then the left boot, and then rotate the whole thing out. It came out pretty easy then. All right, onward and downward. Starting out on this camera because I'm going to be swapping over to the head cam to show you the work as I'm doing it. And on the off chance something goes wrong with that camera, I just want to at least explain what I'm doing next, which is taking these parts that came with the Eagle mic kit. You've got a 140 jet, a 142, and a 145. You've got two spacers. You've got a spare clip. And you've got the brass washer and then the needle. I'll go into all what that's about later. It's in all the videos. But also, when I'm done, I'm going to recap in steps in writing on a piece of paper what I did, anything I encountered along the way that might be a problem. So you basically will have a one-sheeter with all the info on it that you can refer to if you want to do this yourselves. So anyway, basically I'm going to take the 140. I'm going to put the brass washer on top of this clip, this spacer on the bottom of this clip. This needle is already preset with the clip one notch down. This cap comes off, the old slide comes out, the new one goes in. Then you go into the bottom. I've still got some gasoline to get out of the bowl. And then we go into the bottom, make a little adjustment there, and we'll be done. Original needle on the left, Eagle mic on the right. And if you notice, the original, it's like the same diameter, same circumference, all the way to the end. Then it gets real thin at the end, where the Eagle mic is a steady taper down to the end. It's more even tapering. Well, with this particular mod helping with the response, this makes sense. Because with the original needle, you've got some delay till it hits the tapering end, letting more fuel through. And in the KLX needle, it's more constant. At this point, this is where things get a little wonky because I deleted all the footage. So now on the top of the carburetor, you've got the cap, and you're going to remove 4 screws very simply. Be careful with those. You could strip them. Most people get the replacement screws with the hex heads from Eagle mic when they get the needle kit. That's what I did. Be careful when you take out the 4th screw. There is a spring under this cap, and so you don't lose any parts. Just lift it up gently, and then out will come the spring, and then you will pull this diaphragm up. It'll be sitting right here, resting right there. You'll pull the diaphragm up, and inside the diaphragm, you're going to see this thing that most people call a castle. And down inside the castle and down in through the bottom of the diaphragm sits the original needle. There may or may not be a washer in there. All you're going to do is turn the diaphragm upside down, get the needle out, take your Eagle mic needle, put the washer in underneath the clip, put the brass spacer in on top, drop your needle in, drop your castle on top of the needle, that's what holds the needle in, drop your spring back in, and then just screw down the lid onto there. All right, so this will go into there, this will go into there, that will go on that, the spring will go on top of all of it, and the cap will come down and seat on top, all inside there. That's it for the needle. I'm telling you, the easiest thing of this whole thing was actually the needle conversion. The second easiest thing is the jet conversion, all right? Now, the jet conversion is going to take place down here, and it could be any simpler. All right, so now you've got the 4 screws out of the bowl cover, and this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the main jet. You're going to have to put a wrench around this lower portion of the main jet, and then stick a slotted screwdriver in the top of the main jet, and screw the main jet out. Then you take the 140 jet from the Eagle mic kit. Again, we're dealing with the start carb. Again, we're dealing with a stock carb. So you need the 140 jet, screw it right back in that hole. And that is it. That is it. Put the bottom back on with your 4 screws, and you're done. The needle is done. The jet is done. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. The final step to this whole conversion, there is a plug. And what I mean by a plug, when you look at the bottom of your carb, you're just going to see a flat piece of metal there. Well, that's a plug that was put in so you can't mess around with your emissions and the settings. So if you will take a 1/8 inch drill bit, carefully drill into that, and when you pierce that little cap that's on here, set your drill aside, take you a wood nail, a wood screw, screw it into the top of the hole you've created a little bit, and then wiggle it from side to side to pop this plug out, and now you've got your enricher screw, your idle mixture screw. Here's all you have to do to set that. Turn it clockwise, righty-tighty, until it stops, till it seats. It's called seated, loosely. Then you're going to turn it counterclockwise or open it 1 3/4 turns. So you'll go a full turn, and then you'll go a half a turn, and then you'll go 1/4 of a turn. And now you're completely done. You've replaced the needle in the top, you've replaced the jet in the bottom, and you've reset the idle mixture screw. Put the cap back on the bottom of this puppy and stick it back in your KLR. I'm pretty sure that covers it all. No, it does. It is truly that simple. I'm ready to put the carburetor back in. I'm going to struggle with it a little bit. Instead of boring you with the whole installation, if I run into any problems, I'll start the camera after that and show you what I had to do to overcome it. It's back in, but I'm not at all positive about this thing right here. So I guess I'll find out when I hook everything up and crank it all up, but it's in. That video that I posted the link to at the beginning that I mentioned about how to take it in and out, followed the instructions, putting it back in, worked to a T. All right, now let's get everything hooked up. Okay, guys, I'm exhausted. Before I turn the fuel on to see if the fuel will come on without leaking, I just want to say, as with all KLR projects, the hardest part of any KLR project, no matter how simple, is putting the damn thing back together. All right, let's see if we got a leak. Fuel is on. Floor, anything on the floor? Anything there? Let's go around the other side. Oh my God. I am dead from trying to get that tank back on, which I've taken on and off 600 times. All right, let's look up in here. All right. Hang on, we'll try to crank this mow. Bike's back together. I'm going to try to start this sucker. Do I give a clutch? Let's try without the clutch. Wait a minute. Let's put it in neutral. Man, that would have been an awesome video. All right. Let's give it a little clutch. A little. All right. Let's give it a little choke. I'm choking, so I can't talk. All right, you know what? I think that's the kickstand switch. So hang on and jump on, kick the kickstand up, and try again. How's this for a camera angle? All right, once more with feeling. Well, that's all I wanted to see today. Would it start? KLR back together. Choke works. Engine started. Hang on. Oh, it's running. Hasn't caught fire yet. See that? You know what that was? That was my sweat. All right, that's as far as I'm going today. Button this up, take it for a ride next. All right, here's the first thing I noticed. I've got a 16-tooth sprocket, and what I was hoping doing the KLX Needle Kit was going to make it a little more responsive with the 16 tooth, and that's absolutely what's happened. Gone at any speed, including stop, is that little bit of hesitation that you would get at the bottom of a gear. I don't have to give it as much throttle to get started with the 16 tooth like I have before. Here we go. Telling you, in every gear, the throttle response is better. Every gear. I'm going to come down a little lower in this rev range and then goose it. Fifth gear. (3,000 RPM). 4,000. I'm telling you, it's more than a subtle difference. It'd be interesting to see what difference this makes to somebody who's got the 15-tooth sprocket, because it's definitely making a difference on the 16-tooth. All right, from a stop. Just, I tell you what, I used to have to rev way up in first gear to get some bite when I switched it to second gear, when I shifted. I don't have to now. Don't have to give it near as much gas starting out with the 16 now. I saw that coming. But then that's on me. I was accelerating. Let's just whip through here real quick. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. So is that. That Yamaha's sweet. So is that twin. But not today, boys. I am happy with my KLR. Here's my other buddies. These guys carry the Zero motorcycle. Actually, I'm going to stop in here and see about ordering some shingles. What's up, stranger?
Sir, how are you been?
Good. How you doing?
Living the dream, you know us.
All right, guys. Just ordered me 804 and an 805. I know I said I was going to get the TKC 80s. But boys, gentlemen, ladies, I have a Shinko wallet. To summarize on the KLX Needle Kit, it's worth every damn penny. Got it from Eagle Mike. He's very accommodating. If you have any questions regarding anything, just send him an email. He responds pretty damn quickly. Side note, glad Eagle Mike's doing better. I know he was fighting cancer there, and I'm sure we'll continue to fight on and off, but hopefully is doing well. That's where I got my needle kit. I'm extremely happy with it.